Welcome to CSGuitars, the science of loud. That's right, you saw the video title, Sell Your Amps. Get rid of them, chuck them in the bin, burn them if you have to. You no longer have any use for them now that the NUX Amp Academy exists. Now, while you are frothingly writing your angry comments along the lines of
real amps will always sound better than that digital sh**. Mom, stop vacuuming upstairs. I'm trying to defend my opinion on the internet.
Let's look beyond the obvious clickbait title and take a gander at what is genuinely a solid product from NUX, which is going to be very useful for many guitarists in a lot of situations. Oh yeah, and this video is brought to you by Guitar World and obviously NUX, and yes, that is how you pronounce it. Let's go back to basics for a second. In the good old days before computers and digital signal processing, if you wanted your electric guitar to sound loud, then you had to plug it into an amplifier and speaker cabinet. Now those are big, they're expensive, and if you wanted lots of different sounds, you'd have to get lots of different amplifiers and cabinets, and who has the time and money for that? In the last 20 years, we've seen huge advances in DSP amp modelling and speaker cabinet impulse responses, simplifying our lives and bringing a ton of excellent and expensive amplifier sounds to an achievable price for the ordinary guitarist. The beginners and hobbyists, those among us who don't do this professionally and can't justify spending big money on lots of gear. The NUX Amp Academy might look like just another guitar pedal, but this could be your entire rig. This is a modern digital amp modeler, and it's bristling with features that make it an excellent, viable option for a number of situations, including playing live, recording riffs to your computer, or just playing with headphones around the house. This is capable of delivering 12 different amplifier models with 12 different cabinet IRs supplied by Chop Tones. And yes, there is the ability to load in your own IRs if you already have your favourites. On top of that, this also has a noise gate, 9 different compressor, boost and overdrive effects, an effects loop in here so you can patch in your own modulation and delay pedals, and 5 different reverbs. All of this can be output either through the 1/4-inch jack, so you can take this to a power amp and monitor it through a physical speaker, or from the DI via XLR to a sound desk or mixing console, or via headphones, or via USB, turning this into your very own audio interface. Now that's a lot of functionality, and maybe you're still new to guitar and you're sitting there like, Colin, I don't even know what anything you just said means, can't you just show me what it does? And yes I can, but be patient, we're gonna get there. Let's take a look at 3 scenarios of how this can be used. Okay, let's say you're not playing live and you don't have a home studio for recording. All you want is to get some really excellent guitar sounds to play in your house through headphones and not disturb anyone else around about you. Well, no problem, my kings, queens and in-betweens. Plug power in here, guitar in here, and headphones in here, and boom! You now have a silent practice rig. The Amp Academy has 2 foot switches. The left one switches between your cleaner amp models in bank A and your more distorted amp models in bank B. These little toggle switches up here help you select the specific model of amp you want. Here's all of the amp models that this contains. Everything from Fender Twin Reverb through Blues Breakers and Marshall 800s, all the way up to dual rectifiers and Uberschall high gain monsters. The second foot switch, Scene, selects between different combinations of effects. The associated software shows you exactly what's going on here. But of course, this is all customizable. I can select exactly what combinations are selected for each of these 3 scenes. This means I can set it up to select between 1 low gain and 1 high gain amp and have 3 different flavours of each. Now I'm going to get you some sounds from this. I'll be monitoring through headphones like you would be, but the sounds that you're going to hear in this video will be captured via the XLR plugged into the DI out. Now I'm doing that purely for a recording convenience. The headphones and the XLR both receive the same signal, so what you hear is what I'm hearing, but if you've got no intention of recording with this device, then just know that you don't have to have that XLR connected. Now instead, if you end up getting something that sounds like this, then that's because you've got the IRs turned off. There's a little switch on the back here which turns on and off the speaker cabinet impulse responses. So if you're using headphones, make sure that's turned on. And if you're wondering why you'd ever want to even turn that off, let's look at our second scenario. Okay, you want to start recording guitar sounds to your computer, right? Cool. The Amp Academy allows you two options to do that. You can either do what I'm doing and connect the Amp Academy via an XLR cable to your audio interface and then record sounds into your DAW. But if you don't already have a nice audio interface like I do, then you can instead connect the Amp Academy via the USB connection to your computer, and now the Amp Academy behaves as an audio interface and you can record to your DAW with the pedal, which is pretty smart. I'll be sticking with using the XLR as that's more convenient for the setup I've got, but no, you can get the same results using the USB. Now when recording, you could leave those inbuilt cabinet IRs active and record the sounds as they are, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. But perhaps at some point after you've recorded, you go, I just wish I could go back and sort of change those sounds without having to re-record the guitar parts again. Well, that's where being able to switch off the IRs and apply them after you've recorded becomes very useful. The Amp Academy makes it extremely easy just to turn off all of the IRs, record all the weird fizzy sounds to your computer, and then use an IR loader to apply cabinet IRs after the recording so we can change the sounds as we like them and not have to re-record everything. The final scenario is the way that I use my equipment here in my home studio to record these videos, but it would also be an ideal case for using equipment live on stage. What I want is for the sound that I hear in room or on stage to be coming from a real physical cabinet behind me. That way I can have full control over the volume and feel the air move as I play. But I want the sound that my audience hears to be coming from the XLR direct out, as that's a far more controllable sound than trying to mic up a cabinet. So I can connect the 1/4-inch output to my power amp, which feeds my speaker cabinet, while also sending an XLR to my audio interface or mixing desk if it was a live show, and the audience can get the direct feed. Now this would usually present a little bit of a problem, as I need to have the cabinet IRs turned on for the XLR feed so that they'll sound good, but if I send an IR signal through my physical cabinet, then it's going to sound awful. What I need is to have the IRs on for the XLR, but turned off for the 1/4-inch output. Well, praise the Lord, NUX have come to my rescue where many other manufacturers fail and have allowed me that option to turn on the IRs for different outputs, meaning you get to hear the internal IRs, I get to hear my in-room cabinet, everyone's happy, everyone gets the best sound. Now this video could go on, and there's certainly more functionality that the software gives us access to, as well as a whole host of sounds I haven't demonstrated, but I think I've done enough to get the point across. If you're looking for a little headphone practice rig, Amp Academy does it. If you're looking for a USB interface recording rig, Amp Academy does it. And if you're looking for an ampless live rig, Amp Academy does it and sounds great doing it. You can check this out for yourself. Links will be in the description, and thanks to Guitar World and NUX for making this one possible. Don't forget to click all the buttons you're supposed to make this video viable to the ever-changing whims of the YouTube algorithm. That's all for now. Keep it loud and stay safe.
Top 10 anime waifus.